Well, good morning. We are camped at the Wrangell St. Elias National Park in Alaska, and had a pretty chilly night last night, about 35 degrees. But this morning, when we first got up, the sun was out and it was really nice. Now it's clouded over, but it's warming up nicely, so looking forward to a good day. Now, I'll tell you that Dawson City, yesterday starting at Dawson City, kind of nice start with the bear running across the road, and then I swear, when I went in to get some coffee, walking up those steps and along that long sort of patio or porch, it almost for a minute felt like you were in the Old West, you know, and you could hear the spurs jangling. It was just kind of cool. The city is really cool, very Old West looking about it. They try to keep that up. It's really a cool place. And then coming across the top of the world highway, I mean, that's just a beautiful highway. The scenery's stunning. If you want to camp along the top of the world, I suggest sort of the Canadian side or anywhere from the U.S. border to Chicken. Those seem to be the best spots. The Walker Fork Campground, if you have a camper, that's a really nice spot. I suggest you looking that out. It was right along a river, looked like it was wide open, roomy enough, so that one looked really nice. After that, I don't think the camping was as nice, probably gravel pullouts and that sort of thing. So top of the world highway, highly recommended, beautiful, and camp east of Chicken. Interesting combination that we have here. We have a bald eagle sitting in the top of this tree, and just down the road, maybe 50 feet away, we have a golden eagle. After we left Wrangell St. Elias Park this morning, we continued down the Toke Cutoff until we got to the Richardson Highway, T intersection. Right goes to Fairbanks, left goes to Valdez. We turn north, we're going up towards Fairbanks. We had this really nice, pretty darn nice paved highway, nice wide road and all that stuff. All of a sudden the speed limit changed and we are on what I must say is the old highway. The surface has changed, has gotten much rougher, much more rusty, much narrower highway. So here's definitely a patch that they haven't upgraded yet. However, having said that, this is the kind of road that you expect in Alaska. This is kind of that remote, rugged road, sort of the road you'd see in those movies where the bus turns down the wrong way and the next thing you know, they've got crazy cannibals after them. It's that kind of road. I kind of like that kind of road. All right, we have to stop. We have to just take in the moment because we are now at Dick Lake. And where else would dicking around outdoors hang out than Dick Lake? Standing on the shores of Dick Lake, and sadly, I made just a bit of noise. Right here on this top of this bush right in front of us, there was an eagle perched, but I missed that. But if you can see across the lake, that silver streak, that is actually the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. We came across the pipeline again here on the road. Thought I'd take a quick break just to show anybody that's curious what this thing looks like. And this actually goes underground at this point because it's crossing a creek, but it's really built, the whole section is built on these stanchions, and that's designed for a couple reasons. One, since the ground is permafrost, they didn't want to dig into it. The pipeline does put off some heat as well. And two, it allows animals to cross. So really, it's an ingenious design. Well, man, that is a sight nobody wants to see on the highway. Anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to point out something to you. I've noticed a lot recently on YouTube videos about driving the Alaska Highway and the other highways, saying that, oh, your fear of fuel is grossly overblown. As long as you stop and get fuel when you see it, no problem, you're golden. And I think they're right, to a point. As long as you're just going from point A to point B, you're good, as long as you're fueling up during normal business hours. assuming your car has a decent range of 300 plus miles. But if you want to get off the highway and do any sort of exploring like we did at Wrangell St. Elias, that put another 80 miles on our trip. So we very likely could have run out of gas before we found a gas station. Now, we are carrying an extra 10 gallons with us, so we weren't worried. But I wanted to point that out, is that if you are the type of person that wants to get off the road, wants to see what's out there, then you need to pay attention to your ranges and your gas station distances. Publications like the milepost will allow you to gauge those. And if you need to carry extra fuel, then carry extra fuel. It's not a given that there's going to be fuel right around the corner. We're on our way between Fairbanks and Denali, and we stopped in a little town called Nenana for some lunch. And I got to tell you, it was really a good spot for lunch. The town is cool. It's one of those kind of eclectic little Alaskan towns. They have a trading post or a general store. Really nice little store, and you can get anything in there. I mean, you can get anything from frozen pizzas to boxes of mac and cheese, and I saw a guy buying a wolf pelt, believe it or not. Pretty wide variety of products in there. And then we had lunch at this place called the Hot Plate, which was brand new, just opened. However, apparently the chefs used to do food in the general store, so they're known around the community, and it was really good. And they were able to substitute French fries. They actually opened up their salad bar for me. So really a neat little town. So if you're on the way and you want to avoid the McDonald's and that kind of thing, swing into Nenana. There seems to be 3 restaurants in town, although they rotate which may be open on any given day. But I think it's well worth a try, and it's kind of a neat little town and right off the road, so you don't lose a lot of time if you're trying to make some time. We're camping tonight in Denali National Park, and we're stopped by the Savage Cabin, which has kind of a cool history. This thing was originally built in the 20s, and it was a cookhouse located about a quarter mile down the road on the Savage River for the crew that was building the road through the park. It's subsequently been moved and is now used as a ranger cabin for the rangers that are dog sled patrolling the park during the winter, which is a pretty cool thing. I didn't realize that was done. And the cabin itself is built to be bear-proof. The door is, I'd say, 1.5 inches thick, and there's actually an inner door that are both designed to kind of grizzly-proof it. And around the corner, they have another method of protecting themselves from the grizzly, and that is they studded the windows with nails to keep the grizzly from scratching at the window or breaking it open. So kind of neat. And inside, it's quite a roomy cabin, actually. And it's got a bed, it's got a cook stove, it's got a wood heat stove. The dogs actually sleep outside. In fact, there's remnants of old log dog houses here. And in the back, there is an outhouse, which, interestingly enough, we found out that outhouses in Alaska generally have styrofoam seats. And the reason they have styrofoam seats is that you don't, well, first off, when you sit down, they warm up very quickly. And second off, nothing sticks to them in the winter, if you get my drift. So the Savage Cabin, kind of an interesting historical site here in the park. And one of the funner traditions that we started here at Dickin' Around Outdoors is to share with you the bottle of whiskey that we're enjoying around camp. Tonight, we are enjoying a bottle from Two Brewers. It's Two Brewers Single Malt Innovative Series. This is from the Two Brewers White Horse Yukon. And this innovative series is finished in maple syrup casks, where they age their bourbon, send the cask to the maple syrup producer. That producer then ages their maple syrup in the cask and then sends the cask back, and they finish the whiskey in that. And it's really quite tasty. It's a little sweet, as you can imagine. It's got a really full flavor, and it's just a nice bottle of whiskey. Look at this. It's 8:30. It's light. It's light at 10:30. It's light at 11:30. What the heck? We're always on the lookout for something new to try, and something caught our eye when we were in Canada, and we were just looking at it this morning, and it's something we'd never seen before. Now, and this may be the most common thing in the world, and I'm going to look like an idiot, but I've never seen it. So we thought we'd give it a try. This was at the Canada Tire. I was looking for valve stem caps because, you know, I filled my tires up, lost one of the caps. So always do your walk around. Anyway, we found a can of self-heating cappuccino. They had a few other flavors as well, but we thought we'd try the cappuccino. So we're going to give this a try this morning. It's damp, it's overcast, everything is wet. So we're going to give it a go. So the instructions are, apparently there's a self-heating element in the bottom. So you crack open the bottom, start the heating element. When steam appears, you turn it over, shake it up a little bit, and after 3 minutes, it's done. So let's see how this baby looks. Now, normally we don't buy this kind of stuff because it's quite wasteful, it looks like. It develops a lot of trash just for a cup of coffee, but it looked pretty intriguing. So push here. So you're breaking the crystal seal. And we should see some steam here in a minute or two, I guess. Sorry, camera lady, I keep moving this on you. Now, I have seen some different dehydrated foods. In fact, my buddy Rusty uses one called oatmeals that have a heating element in them, so you don't need to heat water for them, which is kind of neat. Oh, there we go. So now we turn it over. We stir it around for 5 seconds. There's best 5 seconds I can figure. And we wait 3 minutes. Let's just set this on the table. Hopefully it doesn't get hot enough to burn wood. See how it tastes. And 3 minutes is up. The can is nice and warm to the touch. It's not hot. It's not too hot to hold. Very warm. So let's see how this tastes. All right. Our self-heating cappuccino in a can taste test. Smells good. You know, I don't think I'd put my favorite barista out of work with these things if I were making them. However, if it is one of those cold, damp mornings where you just want to hit the road, but you want something hot, it's actually pretty decent. I'm not going to say it's good. It's pretty decent. I think it would get the job done. Maybe have a couple in your pack just for mornings like this. And I don't know. I guess it's all right. What else do you say? It does the job. It fits the bill. But it's not going to replace your barista. We're standing at a really awesome pullout. And as you can see from the plaque, you've got a great view of Denali, both the North and South Peak, as well as Sable Mountain and Double Mountain. So check it out. Yep, Sadly, because of the environment created by Denali and its own weather and the climate here, it's very often that you don't see Denali. And today is one of those days, so if you have spent your entire life wanting to come here to see Denali, this would not have been the day to be here. So when you come, expect this view, and if you see the mountain, then consider yourself fortunate. We have been fortunate a couple times that we've seen it on past trips. Today is just not one of those days. We got off the highway. We decided we were going to try to find another way to get a view of Denali, hoping that by the time we got up here, the clouds would have broken. We did have some pretty good shots from the road, but the clouds hadn't broken. And we were hoping if we could get close enough, we might be able to get to see some of the glaciers. Sadly, we've reached the end of the trail for us today. The road is pretty well covered. The stream is rolling pretty quickly. And even though I think we could get through there, I don't really feel like being wrong about that. Up here, we're probably, I don't know, what would you say? 60 miles, 50 miles away from the highway. So getting pulled out of here or extracting ourselves might be a challenge. So we're gonna call this the end of the road and head back and maybe look for a place to camp. We decided to take a little detour just to catch some of the sights. So we pulled off the highway, which is just over there, and drove down to a really nice dispersed campsite along the east fork of the Chalitna River. And I would tell you, this would be a fantastic place to set up a camp. It's a bit of mosquitoes, but hey, that's Alaska. You're like this great river. You have the sounds of the river, you have some fire pits already set up here, and even better, some fine folks from Alaska left us a 6-pack of beer chilling in the river. You can't say enough about the friendliness of Alaskans, so thank you. It's about 9:30 at night. We had a long day of driving, about 12 hours all in, went back, tried to find that sort of back door into Denali. That took quite a while. And now we are between Glen Allen and Palmer. We're sort of winding our way back to Haines. We found a really, really nice campsite down by a river. And don't ask me what river this is because I don't know off the top of my head. It's a super nice campsite. The vehicle's actually up top. There's a very large gravel pullout. Multiple vehicles can fit in here. There's an RV up there sharing the spot with us. If you were more adventurous, you could have driven the Jeep down. We didn't know it till we walked down here. Or you could have driven the Jeep right down here onto this flat. There's a fire ring already down and established. So it's a nice spot. And I can't say enough about just how pretty this is. You do get a touch of road noise, but hey, you know, we're not climbing 60 miles out like we did earlier. So we're now just enjoying our nightcap. We picked up our latest companion, which is a bottle of 15-year-old Dewar's Blended, which I find often is my go-to camping scotch because it's a high-quality scotch and it's quite cheap. So if you're in the mood to try some scotch when you're camping but don't want to spend a lot of money, Dewar's the Monarch, that'll hit the spot. Anyway, cheers. Have a great night and thanks for watching.